This is the delineation of the boundaries of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Ifite Ogwari Campus, Anambra State, Nigeria, and of course the planting of oil palm trees 7 meters inland from the boundary. Now these are basically beacon points where I'm standing in the field, taking the coordinates of the points where beacons were buried beforehand to demarcate the boundary from that of the surrounding villages. Now these are basically the points in question all around the campus. After we've made sure that those points are well known, we'll now talk about how to plant oil palm trees along the boundary. This, of course, is the process of the planting of the oil palm trees, where along that boundary line we'll cut a transect where a part is not in existence, and of course dig holes 9 meters apart along the boundary where the oil palm seedlings will be planted and then subsequently nurtured to maturity. Now, in this hole, which of course the field attendant is digging right now, once it's done digging the hole, furadan will be added to take care of or kill the termites within the soil, and of course prevent them from destroying the seedlings, because there are lots of termites within the soil, and of course they do a whole lot of damage to plant roots and tree roots, preventing them from sustaining themselves effectively. So now that the hole is done, the furadan will be added into the soil. That's a termiticide, after which the seedlings, which like you can see is being freed from the poly bag, is placed right inside the soil, and of course covered with natural earth, so that they can now effectively sustain themselves with the rain for now. Subsequently, when the dry season show up, maybe we'll have to irrigate to ensure that they don't really desiccate, they don't die of desiccation. Now this is still the part being cut through the field to ensure that the oil palm seedlings are planted in line at a particular distance intervals, like I mentioned earlier on, 9 meters interval. Now that's another point where a hole is being dug for the planting of the oil palm seedlings. This is easier because there are no trees around that area whose roots may need to kind of be removed in order to ensure that the plants would thrive and grow well without much interruption. Now, beyond that point where you have that man digging the hole, we'll go forward, and of course you'll see other people still digging holes within the same area, but in line. And of course you can see that the area is quite up. You have lots of line. Now that's another man here over there digging another hole for the oil palm seedlings. And beyond, the story continues, because it's meant to be dug in line along that boundary, so that eventually when they grow up, once you walk along the boundary, you see the lines of oil palm trees alongside the real boundary, which would actually be constructed subsequently. For now, the wall is yet to be constructed, but the wall will be 7 meters outward, while the oil palm tree will still be 7 meters away from the wall, so a tractor can drive between the wall and the oil palm trees without much hassles. Now this is another point where a hole is being dug for the oil palm seedlings. You can see that the soils have different colors and of course different resistance to rupture, and you also saw that he had to get rid of a root within the soil even as we looked on. Now this is another point where the hole has been dug, the furadan has been placed within the soil, and the seedling is about being planted within the soil. You can see that the soil there is really moist, because right now it's still the rainy season. When the dry season shows up, the soil will be somewhat drier. Hopefully, if need be, we'll have to kind of do some fire tracing, because dry season fire, bushfires usually happens within this area. So even as we move along, you'll see that lots of trees will be planted because the boundary is quite extensive. Thanks for the audience, and we hope to see you once more. Bye.